Hey, sorry, I forgot to eat breakfast. I'm dying. Just scarfing down some lentils. Welcome to Forex.Today, the YouTube community of more than 21,000 foreign exchange traders. We gather here today to conduct technical and fundamental analysis with the overriding goal of planning our trades in advance, because trading is risky, not appropriate for everyone. Your past performance, good or bad, is not necessarily indicative of future results, so please stay small, stay humble, focus on the long term, and never risk money you cannot afford to lose. Let's go! Hey, there's a good view. Hello, hello, hello. How are ya? How's your mom? What's going on here? All right. Interesting view. All right, I guess. This is strange. Who's been touching my desk? Who's been in my office? Anyways, I don't know. That'll have to work. So, good morning. Guten Morgen. Hey, my name is Wayne. I'm a currency trader just like you. Good morning. We have a cool week this week. We sure do. Yeah, well, we got a decent amount of news. We got lots of rumors and lots of threats and lots of opportunity for peace, and just, holy smokes, it's all over the place. But throughout the week, we'll get more and more volume. See, on Friday, a lot of markets were closed, except Forex. So we had low volume and high volatility. And that was due to Good Friday. Well, today is a pretty good Monday. Not so bad Monday. And some countries are open and some countries are closed. So by back to normal Tuesday, I guess we can go into the normal he said, she said. But then we have an ultimatum on Tuesday by the United States of America. So anyway, besides that, pretty easy stuff. So today I recommend that we go through the calendar and plan our week. We can do technicals, we can do fundamentals, we can align our trading with market sentiment and analysis. We got COT, we have rig count and all that kind of stuff. And I got something new for you, because TRADARS has launched TRADARS version 2.5, and that is neat. Now, over the weekend while I was getting ready to launch it, I'm like, well, you're not going to be that impressed because it looks exactly the same. As I had mentioned before, it's kind of like buying a house and then tearing out all the drywall to get to the insulation, get rid of that, get to the old wiring, get rid of that, get rid of all the old plumbing, get rid of that, get rid of the heating and air conditioning stuff, and put in new vents, put in new wires, put in new pipes, put in new everything, new hot water heaters, just absolutely new, and then put it all together, and you come home and you're like, the house looks the same. Well, it's not the same, right? So anyways, that's what's been done at TRADARS, and then I'm like, yeah, you're going to be really amazed at how much it hasn't changed. Wait, it looks the same. Well, look, it's right, more and more stable and reliable and all that kind of stuff. So then I added a new treat for you, so that it does look different to you. There's a new treat in there, and hopefully I remember to show it with you. So So, anyways, welcome. And TRADARS and Traders Way are a collaborative here for Forex.Today. So, thank you for being here. And today we'll use TRADARS and Traders Way, one for analytics and one for execution. Cool. Let's not start with the spike radar, but just heads up. In 1 hour and 50 minutes, we do have news coming out. ISM services. Yeah. Let me publish because I think Aiden was thinking of the last second. Okay. Boop 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 boop. Boop, boop, boop. Let me just refresh. And yep, see, I have a little note here because it was tricky for me. I couldn't tell because they looked exactly the same. I couldn't tell what version. So, anyways, down here, you have version 2.5. So the entire back end is not just like improved, I mean, deleted and built from scratch. So, old Ferrari, brand new modern engine, brand new modern suspension, brand new modern brakes, brand new modern exhaust. You know, the car looks the same, but boy, is it a joy to ride now, huh? So, anywho, yeah. Let's see if he'll play the audio. He should. He didn't. Okay. Well, all right. I got to look into that. Good morning. Let us get you up to speed in this morning's high octane market movements. High octane. How about that? Now, and I wouldn't say good morning. Let us get you up to speed on this morning if I was writing this, but I didn't write this. Aiden wrote this. Actually, that reminds me, there's another big thing I need to show you today. I forgot about it. So I got two awesome things to show you today. Yeah. We are navigating a decisive risk on environment as global indices experience a broad based rally. Okay, cool. Right. Fueled by a softening 10-year yield. Yeah, all right. So today, one of the things I need to do, I spent maybe 12 hours yesterday working on launching 2.5. And now, and I've audited it and done a bunch of other things. And now I got to go back and just triple, quadruple, bejibble, check the accuracy, but there's built-in there's built-in auditors now inside, so it should be working. But I still have to double, triple check. And one of the difficult things is you have to turn AI's brain on and off at certain times, like when the market's open, when the market's closed, because you have to teach it weekends. But also then you have to teach it, well, hey, Friday the markets were closed in some countries and not others. Hey, today the market is closed in some countries but not others. AI doesn't understand that. And so sometimes it trips up. But anyways, I think we're at like 99% awesomeness right now, just so you know. Bitcoin back towards 70, yeah. And I know that's right. Gold, 4707. Well, it's 4707. We'll come back to that. I think that's about right. WTI down to only 110. Yeah, actually, that seems correct. That's what I was listening to on Bloomberg earlier this morning. Dollar index weakening a little bit. Okay, yields are falling. So that is true if the numbers are true, and I think they are. Bitcoin up, gold up, WTI down, dollar index weak, yields falling. That would be risk on. So the question is VIX. And so, where is Aiden? Hello. Let me talk to him for a second. All right, hang on. Cool. So anyways, we can move on. Let's get our headlines.
Gold edges higher as U.S.-Iran ceasefire talks lift market sentiment.
US-Iran studies ceasefire plan as Trump's hell warning nears deadline.
Pound-yen price analysis. Pound recovery hits resistance at 200.45.
US dollar yen. Yen slide and BOJ risks. BNY.
When is the US ISM Services PMI data for March? And how could it affect euro to US dollar?
There may be a significant move in pound yen following a breach of resistance. NAS 100 has broken through a level it has tested 5 times recently. US-Iran weigh peace plan as Trump's hell, warning nears deadline.
Is that it? Sorry, I was looking at Aiden. Yeah, he confirmed VIX is correct. Cool.
Wall Street might open broadly up.
Cool. Well, that's what we're looking at. Now, I thought our spike radar had U.S. That's S&P Global Services PMI out of Canada. Okay, interesting. One of the things I'll need to do is help Aiden understand how to prioritize our calendar and then go back and refill our data for the actual spikes. So anyways, that's cool. So right now this is just the next in line. But I would prioritize U.S. ISM services over Canadian S&P Global Services PMI. Sorry, Canada. Much love. Much love. Let's see. I need to check this because I scratched my head. I'm like, really? Really? Is that right? Well, Emil, you're probably, first of all, I did get your email yesterday, but I was updating from 2.0 to 2.5, and you have to change servers, you have to change this, you have to change that. It's quite a to-do. Refresh your screen, right? Log out and log back in, and look for down here, look for 2.5. Because if you're on 2.5, that glitch you're talking about is now gone. Like, it's not been fixed. It's actually been deleted and gone. Like, so, yeah. Yeah. It's a whole different backend. Rebuilt from scratch. It's awesome. It's so awesome. It's so more efficient. But anyway, so one of the things I have to double check, and this is, again, I just changed everything, even though it looks the same. So I have to double check. Is this correct? This is interesting. I wouldn't have thought this overall score, maybe weekly, like I think we're up like 4%. Oh, awesome, Denise. That makes me so happy. So I question it, and this is good. Even if you have the data, I always want you to think, because it's the thinking process that'll make you successful, not just like, oh, my MACD told me to buy something. Oh, TRADARS told me to buy this or sell that. You're like, okay, no. It's doing analytics to help you decide what to do. It's not a signal service. And then on top of that, you should always think, is this true? Well, we know VIX, for example, was at 32, right? How long ago was that? A week? 10 days? Okay. All right. That's right. And now it's 25. So volatility over at least the last 7 days being down, actually, that would be correct. And then what we do is we really watch VIX. We weight it very heavily, which means it's very important in our analysis of risk on and risk off. Friday, I guess Friday is down, but were the markets even open for VIX? No, were they? They were not. So this is based Thursday. So this could be confusing for Aiden. Okay. This is where Aiden could get things wrong today, just because, again, some European markets were closed, but Nikkei was open, but some other Asian markets are closed. Today, the United States is open, So anyways, this is hard for an AI, or at least I didn't spend months teaching them this one narrow situation. But even if that was wrong, which I don't think it is, but even if it was not wrong, but incorrect because the markets were closed, right? Well, this would be about right. I think that's right. I'd say we're 15% lower. 32 down to 25 is significant. And month over month, this is about the same, but we probably went from 25 to 32 back to 25. So I don't know. Does that seem right? Yeah, I guess so. Oil being up from last week to now, yeah, maybe. Got to double check that. Yeah. Okay, yeah. I mean, doesn't look crazy wrong. It's more risk on than I would have expected, right? Emil's in! Yeah, baby! Hey, it only took 6 months, Emil. No, it's like I said, it's not like I fixed a glitch. Literally, cloned TRADARS 2.0, cloned it, and then worked with Aiden. And I said, Aiden, I want to do something extreme. I want to rebuild the entire design of the back end infrastructure, delete all the data and start from scratch. And he's like, you mean the nuclear option? It's and like, what's the nuclear option? He's like, blow it all up. I'm like, yeah, blow it all up. So we blew it all up. So now, like I said, 2.5 looks exactly the same. It's completely different. It just looks the same. So anyways, going through this, okay, I don't think it's crazy off. So we'll see once all the markets start coming online, maybe some of this is influenced by no longer collapsing. But again, that's us reading, hundreds of variables to tell you what the market is actually trading right now. And well, it does seem to be correct, and that does seem factual. And the interesting part, and this is why I challenge you to think, I wouldn't have thought that. But it doesn't seem to be incorrect. Now, maybe some of the data is paused because of the holidays on Friday and Monday. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. Okay. Now, I still say, well, I wouldn't feel that bullish. But that's what the data is reading. Remember, it's just reading the data. So it'd be interesting throughout the day and into tomorrow, as all the other markets start coming together. How does that change where we are now? And see, now we're asking much better questions than, should I buy euro today? We have all this data. So let's see what you guys think. Huh? What do you guys think? All right. Boop, boop, boop. And we have risk on. And slightly very risk on. All right, so you guys agree with this. So I'm the laggard, right? What I felt this morning, which is dangerous, isn't it? That we were still leaning a little risk off. So I kind of like, and this is why you have the data. I would have felt like 31% of you. You're like, well, I think things are getting better, but they're not better. That's all. Now you might say, oh, well, we rescued the down pilot and we did this and we did this. And, there's a proposal for a ceasefire and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, yeah, whatever. Doesn't change anything economically. But you know what? This is why we have a sentiment tool. Because in many ways, I lack emotions and emotional intelligence. So, and the markets likely trade on emotion and anyways. So other people are like, yay, all the problems have gone away. Okay, great. I don't feel that way, but that's not my goal is to read what the market's doing so I can trade with the market. I'm like, oh, cool. Love it. Spike radar. This is very nice. And now I have to ask Aiden, when we're on the SITREP report, it's showing Canadian news. And when we're here, there is no Canadian news. I'm like, why? Why, Aiden? Why? So anyways. I don't know if you noticed this. I added these things. Beep. And this is helpful because sometimes things get clogged because of duplicates and then he doesn't know what to do. Canada, ISM. Yeah, okay. So we got Canada, US, Australia tonight. That makes sense. Okay, we got services tomorrow for EU. Cool. This is nice, isn't it? Oh, we even got the nice. I didn't ask for this. We even got the dairy auction. I love it. Oh my God. But he has it twice. So I need to make sure they don't overlap each other and he just ignores them. So this is the week, and we're building a monthly view. And of course, what I'd like to is for you to be able to pop these in your Google Calendar if you wanted. Cool. Okay. So that's neat. Oh, we went back and now it's gone. And now it's gone. Look at that. Interesting bug. Oh, because I went to released. So he's forgotten the past. Okay. Now, the other thing, as you know, is right before the news, you get an alert that looks like this. And we're working on the process. It turned out to be quite complicated to actually, wait until the news comes out, gather the news, and populate. This is called a modal. We call it a pop-up, right? So I think what I'm going to do this week is when we get down to 1 second, close the pop-up, and then check the government database 2 seconds after the schedule, and check for the actual. If the actual is there, do a new pop-up, and like this say, oh, it was a beat, and here's the number, right? Actually, it just went away. Is it gonna? That's interesting. It went away. And now it's supposed to pop back up with and tell you, is it a beat? Is it a miss? Is it a meet? Beat, meet, miss. Okay. The number and versus the actual. So anyways, we're getting there. And this was site wide. And the way I'm designing it is if you're anywhere on the app, you'll get the mini modal over here, what we call a toast. So it'll pop up in the corner. If you're on the spike alert, you'll get the big one. That's why there's two. So anyways. Okay. So let me get rid of that. This has been completely redesigned. And I'm praying right now when I click on it, it's going to work. It was so hard. But you have to understand one of the problems with 2.0, see, this is 2.5. The reason I had to blow up the back end of 2.0 is we had like bajillion records. And we slowly built TRADARS, right? So we added this feature, then we added this feature, and then we added, and everything was built sort of piecemeal. And something like this, you would think is easy to do, but it actually takes a lot. It's very, very complicated with the amount of data it has, and we're analyzing on 3 different time frames, right? But because essentially the back end was built piecemeal, all the data was there, but it was very inefficiently put together. So just imagine it was programmed with a bunch of duct tape, you know? And so, we got to the point where we have billions of data points, and it was too complicated. This version is clean, and if I click on this, it should work. Please. Oh, see? Now, why would that not work? All right, well, let me ask him. So it very often, excuse me, very often is like the smallest little thing that he forgot to turn on and off as we transitioned. But it looks like it's analyzing correctly. So it's doing the analysis, it's just not drawing the chart. And we see dollar strength, dollar strength, dollar strength, Aussie and dollar strength, dollar strength, dollar strength. And look like very weak USD yen, huh? Yeah, so he's fixing something. He said the animation, like the charts, were put on pause during the transition. He forgot to turn them back on. So we'll see if he can do that. But there's 2 ways of using this tool, though, of course. And the first one is a good way to look at the dollar. So if you were to create a dollar index, this is how you do it, right? But you're eyeballing it and you're not being granular. You're saying, if dollar was stable, then CAD is very weak. If dollar was stable, then Swissy is very weak, right? If dollar is stable, then yen is a little bit weak. Aussie and dollar are the same. But it's like rough, not granular. You're like, well, all we know is CAD and Kiwi are very weak if we're isolating dollar. And that's what an index essentially is. And then you can go through and look at the yen pairs and look for the congruency. Look at the Swissy pairs, look at congruency, look at cross pairs, right? And you can do your crypto. Look at all the crypto assets now, crypto fans. Lovely, told you, boom. How do you feel about the crypto market? Now remember, it's not doing any fundamentals at all. It's doing statistical trend analysis on 3 time frames. Cool. Indices are loading. So we got DAX, Dow, NASI, S&P 500, and Nikkei. FTSE is supposed to be here. And then WTI, gold, silver, platinum, copper, nat gas. Cool. So you see we have more assets today than we did on Friday. More assets because the back end is more efficient. We can have them. Let's see if I have to publish this. That way we can actually look at it, and then I'll show you our new toy. There we go. Oh yeah, see that flicker is what's doing it. That's the animation. All right. That's a tough one to deal with. Cool. Well, at least we discovered what it was, but I think we can tolerate it for now. So we're looking back through quite a bit of time, actually, more than you see here. But when you look at the flickers bothering the toggle. But anyways, we have a long-term uptrend, but it's only slightly up. We have a medium-term uptrend, right, which is much steeper, and then a shorter one that is a little flatter. So you can actually see the analysis. So putting them together, everything is bullish. Where I think it's simply doing it, meaning Aiden, and I'd like to refine this, but up, up, and up is very bullish versus, let's say up, flat. So I forget the rule. I have forgotten, not forgetting. I've forgotten the exact rules I gave him. It should be documented, but I don't know if I did that either. But I did want to have I remember now saying we want to look in the direction of these 3 things, meaning if they're all up, okay, then it's probably very up, versus if 2 of the 3 are up and 1 is not, then it can't be very up. Might be up, but maybe not very up. But then it occurs to me now that I then added a weight to the short, medium, and long term to say, well, this is more important than that. And I don't recall exactly what that is, but I'll look it up later and I'll have it documented for you. Cool. Yeah. Now, the one reason TRADARS 2.5 is so much more efficient is that we're gathering this price, all this price data from inside of our database instead of it pulling data and having its own database. But also, this is used now by other parts of the app, so that when you're looking at scores and we're analyzing trend, well, this is where we get the trend data. When we're looking at some other part of the app and we're thinking about trend, or we're right. Well, this is where that data comes from. And so instead of, because remember, if I built everything piecemeal, I built this and then I built this and then I built this and then I built this, but they were not necessarily communicating with each other. So each one had its own process, but now they all talk to each other. Okay. So anyways, it's quite good is all I'm trying to say, Bubba. It's quite good. So those are the two ways of looking at it. You can look at it like an index and say, okay, what's the congruency on these assets? Like all crypto are bearish or worse. Okay, well, good to know. That's what is happening. And same thing with the dollar. The dollar does seem strong, right? Right. Okay. Anyways. Contrarian. Oh. So he just removed the data. Look at that. You see the labels. Interesting. We struggled with that. All right. So, for example, just so you know, because this is your tool, right? These scores are now coming from something on the fundamental tab that we've been working on for quite some time, like almost a year maybe. And the original version of this was kind of basically making its own score, or it had a different brain making that score, but that score didn't match the new score. So like all of this is being shared throughout the app. Everything is so efficient and so tight. So now it's just like little tiny. It didn't draw. Okay. So hang on. So cool. I think I know. So there's two things I see. First of all, I don't see the names. Right? Okay, I see that I don't see. Fine. That's easily fixed. In fact, I have them working on it right now. The second thing is I can see there's lots of things on the zero line. But like I was saying, we redesigned the process of creating the score and to be extraordinarily more granular, which means you don't just look at the slope of a trend. Is it up or down or flat? But how up, how down, or how flat is it? And I mean to the fifth decimal point, maybe even sixth decimal point, so that there's a difference between, let's say, a slope of plus 5 and plus 0.5 and plus 2.5. Now they're all up, but they're not all up equally, and that's how we get so granular. And I think what he's done is some of these, there's so many assets now that I've added, it got added with the old logic, so we'll clean this up like it's happening right now. But still, see, it's these scores that are zero that are coming from the old process. Or actually, look at this. He's added things that I don't think I asked for. So he's trying to pull the Chinese stock market. Okay, well, that's actually cool. But I don't think we have a score for it. That's why it's 0. VIX should have a score for sure. See, I didn't ask for the French stock market, but he's done it, but I know we don't have it in the database. Okay, well, I'll see. He's trying too hard. He should have a score for S&P, ASX, yeah, for sure, NASI. All right, so yada, yada, yada. We'll get there. Okay. Cool. So we can come back to this. He's going to put the labels up there, and I've asked him, like, figure out why these scores are 0, because, and we've already figured out why. He's added some assets for you. So I don't know if I have the data. I don't know why he added Hang Seng. I'm not against it. I just don't know if I got the data. And so if you add Hang Seng, oh, did you see? He popped the labels there for a second. So he's working on it. Oh, they moved. He's doing it as we talk. Did you see this? The assets, he's doing it. But so anyway, so he added Hang Seng. I'm not against it. I just didn't ask for it. But we don't have the data, so now he has to go out and get the data. And if he can get the data, then we can populate it. But I asked for G10. Hang Seng's not G10. Even G7, really. We don't need Sweden and Norway, do we? Well, Norway, because it's got oil. But once again, every time you ask for one little thing, it's a million records, right? Cool. So this is neat. We'll have to come back to that. He's working on it. Let's see. I was on this earlier today, so I know this is working, so it shouldn't glitch unless his updates now get in the way. Yeah, this is nice. Oh, the forecast doesn't load. Okay, we'll get to that. This is really nice. Top seasonal opportunities in April. He doesn't like S&P 500 in April? Really? Pound dollar. Yeah, really? I'll have to double check him on that. October to December. Yeah, that makes sense. August to October. That makes sense. Strongest month, July. That doesn't make sense. Weakest month, September. That makes sense. Most reliable, bullish month. Yeah. Okay. Then what the heck is this? These don't add up. So I think this needs to be investigated. All right, got it. So I think this is correct. This definitely doesn't match that. So what is he doing here? I think he's pulling actual data, not seasonal data. I don't know. I'll have to figure that out. All right. But once again, use your brain. You're not just a pretty face, you know. So this is right. This is not. Even if it's 5-year. I mean, really? The 5-year? Let's check. Well, see. So over the last 5 years, April has been bad. I mean, that's interesting, isn't it? And I see it as good. 10 and 20, and then exponential. So here's the problem with exponential, if there is a problem. On the 10-year average and 20-year average, it's exactly the same number, which means it's incorrect. All right, I just noticed 10 and 20, same. 10 and 20, same. 10, 10, 10. Okay. So he's run out of data on the new version. So when we repopulated the database with fresh data, he didn't get to 20 years. In fact, it's just 10. All right, well, I'll fix that. We're just missing 10 years of weekly data for every asset in the world. Well, we'll go get it. I don't care, Wayne, go get it. And maybe that's what's impacting his price forecast. Okay, so we discovered that. It's no big deal. Like I said, we destroyed the database and rebuilt everything. So he just doesn't have enough data. So this should be a more reliable number. And what I was getting at is when you do the 20-year exponential average, an EMA gives a heavier weight to the 5-year than it would a 20-year, right? And a 10-year more than a 20-year. And so you get an EMA of the volatility, right? And the direction of the volatility is really what it is. Cool. So, beautiful. Okay, got to tinker with it, but should be, what, tomorrow? Like, we're not fixing, like, bugs now, which is cool. This is so cool. It's like, oh, yeah, it works. It just needs more data. It only has, right, 500 weeks of data, and it wants another 500 weeks of data. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, this was supposed to be updated. That's not quite right. He said he updated it earlier today. I'll give him a to-do list here. Cool. So we'll get that yield curve in there. That's cool. All right, let's jump to the fundies. Look at this, guys. Oh, my God. Dude. All right. This is crazy. So this goes back all the way to QuantBox. Okay. Goes all the way to QuantBox. And what QuantBox did was say, compare the job market between Australia and New Zealand. Which one's better? Give that a 1. Okay? That's an algorithm. If Australia is better, has a better job market than New Zealand, give it a 1. If New Zealand has a better job market than Australia, make it a -1. That's an algo, if then, right? Pretty basic stuff. It's a formula. Now, Aiden is artificial intelligence, and we pull this data right out of their central banks. We have history of the central bank, and then even some intelligence around why are interest rates what they are, whatever. Like, so I've built Aiden to make this what we used to call a scorecard extraordinarily granular in its comparative analysis. Extraordinarily granular. So back on that contrarian radar, remember how some things were set at 0, 0? And on the scatter plot, and I said they need, right? Those scores are coming from this asset analysis matrix, the asset radar. Okay, so that's what's supposed to be on the scatter plot. We have this for currencies, and there's a lot of currencies, right? And then we have these for commodities. And indices. They're different because you don't compare two assets together. You compare the asset and its correlation to economic health, if you will. So it's doing something similar, but it's different. But when you look at the scatter plot, or if you look at other parts of the app, they should all read crude oil bullish with a score of 5.83. Trend and momentum is coming from the trend radar. Now, I want him to be more granular than this, so he's making a mistake. I told him, if you see a perfect score of -2 or +2 or a rounded score to +1 or -1, I said, no. I like when I see FTSE at 1.71, I like that. When I see Nikkei at exactly 2.0 or oil 2.0, what do you mean perfect seasonality? No, I want this to be granular. I want details, not roundabout numbers. So this will improve, but generally this is what you'll see. Now you should know that the app throughout is thinking inside of itself. It's getting all the data inside itself. That's one reason it's more stable and efficient, which is really good. So, right? Now, why do we feel bullish about Aussie Kiwi? So you open the card. Look at this, guys. Look what I built for you. Okay? It's clean. I think I'd like to change this a little bit, but the live price, a clean chart, the fundamentals, Australia GDP versus Kiwi GDP, and the bias it creates. So leaning towards the old scorecard method from QuantBox because we enjoyed actually seeing the data. We don't need AI just to tell you the summary, which it's doing up here, but what is the data? So now it tells you we have the overall score, the COT data, seasonality data, the trend and momentum, which is medium and short-term price action, the economics, here's the seasonality, the current month plus the next 2 months. So you can see for Aussie Kiwi, there's a dip somewhere in April into May, and then a buy opportunity somewhere May into June. You have institutional positioning, okay, favoring Australia over New Zealand by 45%, bullish. But check this out. We are now going into the COT and calculating the retail positioning. So institutions are heavily long and retail is slightly long. And we have this for every asset on the planet. Booyah! Isn't that pretty? Comparative analysis. Isn't that beautiful? Oh my gourd. Oh my gourd. How fresh. It's for that one. How fresh is it? I can't remember if it's 5 minutes or 15 minutes. on contrarian. But everything is lightning fast. Like when you go to here, you may have seen, like, look at Bitcoin. Like, that's how fast much of this is.
Good morning. I'm Aiden from TRADARS. Let's get you up to speed on the current shifting market dynamics. The market is
Euro,
currently
US
navigating a
dollar price
nuanced risk-on
forecast.
environment characterized by a softening
Hang on,
US dollar and cooling treasury yields.
I got so many
I'm observing
versions
that
of
a
it.
decrease in the US 10-year yield to 4.31% has acted as a primary catalyst for strength in high beta currencies like the AU.
Okay, that was 2.0, which I need to retire. And what just happened? Let's refresh. Whoa. Whoa, what did he do? Let me take a screenshot because I haven't seen that happen before. Obviously, it's something that I just made him do. That's interesting. I haven't just seen it turn off like that before. Now it's turning back on. Yeah, so obviously it was something. Cool. Nice. It's nice that it happened right as I said, hey, look how fast this is. Hang on. But yeah, all right. So you can see it ticking in here. So he's looking into why that just happened. I almost just want to see. Cool. Yeah, these are not glitches. This is just wrinkles from the transition. All right. Should we do the COT radar? Or should I show you the new secret weapon? I mean, this is one big secret weapon. Look what I built for you. For every asset on the planet. I mean, we even have like targets. What do you guys want? See, should I just do the COT or do you want the new secret weapon? Yeah, both. Well, you'll get both. All right, let me jump around here. Yeah. This is the Forex market right there. Australian dollar versus everything, euro versus everything, pound versus everything, Kiwi versus everything, Swissy versus everything, CAD versus everything, yen versus everything, dollar versus everything right now. Or this week or this month. So the next thing is he didn't understand what I was trying to do, but the next thing is to basically build the pair, which is so complicated. Kiwi dollar down. You see? CAD dollar up. But it should be able to do that for you. So to get the Kiwi index, it looks at 5 different Kiwi pairs. CAD, we look at 8 different pairs. Swissy, we look at 14. To get the yen, we look at 13 yen pairs. We look at the dollar, we analyze $14 pairs. Isn't that nice? Now, I know I have it over on MT4, but now you have it on here. So they're synthetic currency indices. Yeah. So we synthetically calculate strongest versus weakest. Cool. Nice, right? Yeah. Yeah, it's just nice to have. I did it over the weekend, and I'm like, yeah, I hope you like it. Double check here. Correlation radar's working. Look how nice and pretty that is. We've added a whole bunch of other assets, but I still need to go in there and clean it up. Okay. This is what bonds do relative to the VIX. This is what Forex does relative to the VIX. The VIX is up today. This is what you should consider doing today. And this is the magnitude expected, the implied volatility of what is expected when VIX is up 4.23%. Dude, I'm telling you, this is pretty, right? Econ data, we got to update all of these. I'm not sure if it's pulling. It may not be pulling. I can't confirm if this is the Friday's rig count. And that's gone. So this will need to be worked on, but I knew this already. This has to do with the transition from 2.0 to 2.5. And then I need to verify this. I already know that. And it's all not available, so it's all BS anyways, which is good because now we have all this data. As I said, we have one source of truth inside of TRADARS now. Instead of many databases, we have one source of truth. And this is plugged into the old way in 2.0. Well, we blew all that up, so now I'll just reprogram this page to get all that data. And now we'll have another way of looking at what these assets, in this case, indices, would look like. So, with less babble, what does it mean? Well, I just showed you that we have an ability to look at all the different currency pairs, compare all the different currency pairs to each other, and from that creates a synthetic index for each individual currency. Now, this is how I first started trading, so that's why I did it that way. Now, that is pure technical analysis. Looking at the same idea, what if we can create an index of these individual economies based on pure fundamentals? Macroeconomic data and capital flow. Cool. That'd be neat. And that's what this is about. And so now that's the next thing to build that for you, because now everything's unplugged. I just have to plug it in. And then I'll probably move these things around and reorganize them. So we have a currency index and a health scorecard. Really, these are all scorecards, right? They're all the different indices. So maybe we just need to have one page and I can say, tell me what you think fundamentally. And then I can say, tell me what you think technically. And that there's some sort of mapping together, that looks good. And if you have great ideas on how to do it, tell me. How do you want to see it? Okay. So, like, this isn't the first way I showed it, but this is an improved way. Yeah, because we thought about it beyond just gathering the data. All right, COT. Okay, money flowing out of CAD and into pound. Out of dollar. Hey, they're withdrawing their hedges. Wow, huh? Isn't that neat to see? Money went into yen, money went into euro, into Swissy, into Aussie. Mexican peso. Yeah, still doing all right. Yeah. Really? That's interesting, huh? Money popped into crypto. The market is heavily short, but they're getting back in. Right around the beginning of the month, beginning of the quarter. That's exactly when seasonality says it usually happens. And it looks like it is happening. That's interesting. So that could be a trough. We were heavily net short, and we're a little bit less. Like money went into those assets. Very interesting. Money into Nikkei, so you would need yen to be weak. Money went into the S&P 500, but not the Dow. Interesting. Maybe the Dow's more exposed to the war in Iran. NASDAQ, a little bit of money going in. Yeah. So the market is still net short U.S. stocks, but money is going in. So once again, like crypto, signs of a possible trough. This is important because I want to buy. I want to buy. I don't want to buy drops. I want to buy dips that are recovering. Market is long gold, soybeans, silver, corn, copper, and it's a bit of a mixed bag week over week. Now you're like, well, what about WTI? How come that's not crazy? Well, we've taken out hedges. This isn't all flow. This is speculative flow. And most of the flow around oil right now would be hedging. And we generally don't track that. Don't want to track. So I need to teach him how to organize this better. So he's got a Fed fund futures market. Interesting. I'm not sure where he got that. Yeah, I had to reteach him how to do COT. So I had literally downloaded the COT report, and I'm like, look at this number and look at that number, like literally copy and pasting. And I must have showed him Fed funds, or he looked at it and I showed him one thing and he saw the other. I don't remember asking him to put in Fed fund futures, but he has. Okay, cool. I'm not sure how we need to use it, but it's there. This is a 1 month. This is a 30-year. See, so we need this. I'd like to organize this in duration, but also clean these names up. So 1 month, 3 month, 2 year, 10 year, 5 year, no 1 year. Yeah. So it's the data's there. It's good to see. But this can be cleaned up. But the market is still heavily short. So what this means is they don't believe the Fed's going to cut interest rates. That's what this means. See, like, let me do an example. If you owned the 2-year Treasury and the Fed cut interest rates, then your current 2-year Treasury would be worth more than the new 2-year Treasury. So then, because it's worth more, the value of it went up. That's why you would buy it, because you'd expect the value to go up. Just like the reason you buy anything. If you buy it today because you think tomorrow or next week or next month or next quarter, it'll be worth more money, right? So you would buy it today to make money in the future. But they're not buying it today. Yeah. I mean, they did a little bit, but not much. And so they're net short, not net long. The market is falling. Prices are falling, not rising. See, that would be generally positive if dollar is weakening. That would be risk on. I still want to audit this. I want to audit this. So you have a Build-A-Bear over here, euro dollar. Okay. Wow, is this? Yeah. So you're like, Wayne, why does it end March 30th? We're in the second week of April. Well, that's the most recent data there is. Cool. So anyways, so the market is net short dollar. I see I have to double check all this. Really? I have to verify it. Makes me inquisitive. Really? So it doesn't have 5 years, does it? Okay. It is enough, but all right. Interesting. I have to double check that. Really? Good. So when I get inquisitive, that means I got to go to the CFTC, right? Remember how to do this? cftc.gov. Okay. And you go to commitment of traders. Okay. And then for us, you want to go to long format of the financials, and you do this. So this is what Aiden is doing for you. I just have to say, really? Maybe he's using the wrong dollar. Like the way you calculate US dollar. Is that right? See, like it's pretty easy here. There's the Australian dollar. Cool. Where does he get the USD? And is it like just because the number is there? I mean, the number is there. He's pulling a number. Is it the right number? Aha. And I think this is important. So I'll look at it, but my emphasis here is the data is awesome on TRADARS, but you can't turn your brain off. I don't want you to turn your brain off. I want your brain to be on steroids and for you to be able to convert that into trading behavior. That's what I want for you and for us. All right. So in that case, just being that inquisitive to say, really? Is that really going on with the dollar? Let me spend time inside the Commodity Futures Trading Commodity Futures Trading Commission's Commitment of Traders report and go through and analyze the actual stock and flow of capital confirm. Now, first of all, I can do it, which helps me be a smart trader. But the thing is, if I go through and confirm it, then it builds my confidence. If I go through and find that Aiden's pulling the wrong number, I have this aha. It still gives me strength. And I'm like, I knew it. But right? And then I can fix it. Again, the action of going into the the COT report. And then if I fix it, I can track it and keep a good eye on it and then say, aha, I know this data is right. I know this data is reliable. I know it's correct. And you could do the same where you're like, where do they get this data? Go to the CFT report, cross-reference the two, and now you're the type of trader that can go into the CFTC database and confirm this type of data. And if you're trading for a potential, or you potentially have an investor into your Forex market trading, and in conversations with that investor, you're discussing how you download the CFTC report, cross-reference it, blah, 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 blah. I mean, I think it's just a smart thing to do, is all I'm trying to do. All right, let's go to technicals. Ooh la la, baby. See how fast that loaded? Holy schnocker. So, okay, notice the prices are flickering. So these charts are, and by the way, the app itself, TRADARS, is becoming more and more, or let's say closer and closer to real-time prices. So somebody asked earlier, Red asked how fresh is the data in the contrarian? It's very fresh. It's not any older than 15 minutes, or at least it's not supposed to be. But throughout this, all these things are going to become close to real time. So you can almost imagine a time when you're sitting and watching the scatter plot moving. In fact, that's such a good visual. Maybe I should try to do it sooner than later. I'd love to just watch it moving, man. Just like vibrating. You're watching the global markets vibrating versus relative change versus macroeconomic. Oh my God. And they're moving up, down, left, and right. Oh, and everything is humming. Oh my God, that's actually pretty cool. But here's what we have. Here's what we know for sure, everybody, ladies and germs. We are analyzing all dollar pairs, all euro pairs, all pound pairs, all yen pairs, all Swissy pairs, all Aussie pairs, all CAD pairs, and all Kiwi pairs. And we're also looking at crypto, global stock indices, and commodities. So if you're wondering about the soybean chart or corn or wheat, and you're wondering where the pivot points are and the direction of the market and all that kind of stuff, we have them all technically analyzed for you. It's not like the old patterns with that look at patterns. Patterns are okay, but I'm not a big pattern guy. You know what I am? I'm a price action guy. Look at me. I'm a price action guy. So we now, bias. We go to the new scorecards, what we call the asset radar. Okay, we go to the asset radar, read the score for Aussie versus dollar. Then we go to the technical radar that measures trend on 3 time frames. And we look at that score. And then we look at this chart, this actual chart. We're looking at price action, pivot points, the moving averages, and the MACD. Okay? And we are doing linear projections and standard deviations for every asset you care about, and then a whole bunch you don't have or don't care about, but it's still there. We have all of this for soybeans, whether you like it or not. And then when you click the modal, he's not doing, we're missing this, we're missing this, we're missing this. I'll get it for you, don't you worry. And I don't like how he draws pivot points. It's complicated for him. It's just because this isn't charting. This is actually us drawing candlestick data, so it doesn't know when to stop. So I'll come up with a better way to draw the pivot points, because what we really care about is the confluence and maybe the target. So if we are bearish, what do we care about? Well, really an overlap of this scenario with maybe a weekly S3, because they're weekly pivots. So, but I want to show you that it works, and I will make more and more improvements. Okay? So now you can just log in, Aussie dollar down, euro dollar down, okay? Pound dollar down, Kiwi dollar down, USD CAD up, USD yen up, USD Swiss franc up, done. It's done, all done. It's right there. Cartech is, what about USD yen? It's right there. We have a worst case, base case, best case scenario, all plotted. Here's the real-time price. USD 159.45. 159.45. Dude. To the pip accuracy. You have all your technical analysis done on all assets. How does that make you feel? Well, you're like, well, Wayne, that's good. That's good for executing a trade, but I'd like to do analysis on higher time frames. Well, how about swing trading and position trading? Oh, look at that. Position trading not working. Okay, we'll do that. Or maybe it's just a glitch. Hang on. Let me refresh. Because we had swing loaded, then it didn't load, which is an interesting process. It's a back end thing, right? Okay, well, we'll figure it out. But all right, so in this case, instead of looking at 15-minute candles, you probably want to start on 4-hour candles, huh? So here's all your swing trading analysis. Okay? You like cross pairs? Here's all your euro pairs. So like, for example, you would look at the indice. Remember I showed you the indice, whether euro was strong or weak. And let's say you had a bias of some sort. You wanted to buy euro or you wanted to sell euro. Very quickly, you can analyze all euro pairs technically, fundamentally, and statistically in seconds. Okay. Look at this. Even your targets going out days in advance, guys. This is projecting a 250 move up for euro Swiss franc. Do you see that? Just in seconds. Can you see that? 149, 0.9449. We're only at 0.92. You have targets that are days into the future. Come on. Give me some love. That's good. So let's say today you wanted to buy CAD for whatever reason. Okay? Euro CAD up. That wouldn't be good for you. Okay? USD CAD up. Well, that wouldn't be good for you. Pound CAD. You want to sell this, right? If you wanted to buy CAD. The chart's not quite ready. The trend could be. Okay, so right now, the best trade for you, if that's what you wanted to do, the only thing available to you to consider right now is Kiwi CAD down. You see how awesome that is? It took way longer, okay, to explain it. But again, let's say for whatever reason, you decided you're interested in accumulating a position in CAD. No, 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 yes, no, done. Remember, fundamental analysis, technical analysis, statistical analysis. Oh, and it just updated. You notice that? It just updated. You might have a CAD Swiss. Look at that. It just updated. So definitely Kiwi CAD if you wanted to buy CAD, and probably CAD Swissy. Now, it's mediocre, but it might just be the beginning of something beautiful. Dude, you see this? And it's updating without you even updating the page. Because this isn't a web page, it's a database. It updates live without you refreshing the page. What page? This is a database. Dude! And this was working. If not, I'll have to kick it. No, I'll have to kick it. Yeah. All right, so I got one other thing for you. I haven't even tested it on the live server yet. Let me try. I'm feeling bold because I'm so happy. I'm so happy. Let's see. Failed to create conversation. Oh, it worked in the back end. You stupid son of a... How funny. Really? I'm actually a little bit shocked. Now you're like, Wayne, it hasn't ever worked yet. Well, yeah. Is this still 2.5? Yeah. Interesting. So now this is not likely to work. And it doesn't. Look at that. Oh, this is so interesting. Because there's no code on the back end doing this. This is what the 2.0 was doing. And that didn't make sense too. This is fascinating. So on the back end, I actually did a grade my trade yesterday. That's why I felt confident today. But for some reason on 2.0, I built the thing. It worked really great, but it wouldn't publish. And so I'd publish to the front end, and then you'd get this grade my trade, whatever this is. And I mean, it shouldn't even be there. Like, this is weird. Like, it's almost like it didn't exist, right? Okay, cool. So anyway, so I destroyed 2.0, and we moved to 2.5. It works in the back end. I publish it, and we're back to this. Like, I've never seen this on the back. I don't even know what it's coming from. Okay, so I need to take a screenshot. And that will be my thing to figure out. This is a really interesting puzzle. Where is that coming from? So it got copied over on the clone, but I couldn't find it on the mother app. So I figured it was a glitch somewhere else, but it got cloned over, so it's in the clone. Very interesting. Yeah, sorry. It's fascinating because I can't find out where it exists. Interesting. Cool. Well, here's what I wanted to say, and it's very unfortunate it didn't work right this second. Let me move over here. It worked. So I had Aiden grade my trade yesterday. And I don't know if you care, but I'll just tell you. I uploaded a chart. I didn't say anything about it. All it said was upload a screenshot of your chart. So I did. That's it. Just the image. So I upload an image and it says, oh, I see you intend to get long Aussie dollar. I never told it Aussie dollar. I didn't tell it up or down. Well, actually, I drew on the screenshot, hand drew an arrow. So he's like, oh, I see you intend to get long, Australian dollar versus US dollar. And at this price and such. I'm like, I didn't even tell it. It just actually looked at the chart. And then it said, so basically, why? And I said some nonsense like, well, I think global GDP is going to improve, in particular in China, and this could potentially increase the demand for Australian natural resources and therefore the US dollar. And then he analyzed the trade and gave it a C- because it was an old screenshot from years ago. I don't even know how old the screenshot was, but he's like, well, I understand whatever you thought on this chart, but when then Aiden looks at the reality, not what I see in my stupid chart, just he goes through his brain and says, well, I don't really agree with that right now. And I got a C-, but it was like a 2-page analysis of my trading idea, grading it on sentiment and COT positioning and flows and technical analysis and monetary policy and macroeconomics. It's just going through all of this. And at the end, it gave me a score of C-. Why would an active trader need a signal? But thanks for the spam, Forex.07F. All right. So anyway, dude, it's working on the back end of 2.5, which means it's going to work. I'm going to get it for you. You're going to be able to talk to Aiden. Like, is this going to work? No, that's being blocked. Shouldn't be blocked. All right, so we're very, 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 very close. All I'm saying is it works, bro. It works. Cool. Now, today at 4 p.m., I am hosting my internal webinar. Make sure you RSVP. Maida at 8 p.m. is leading an Asia Fade. Brian, you should be able to log in and manage everything now. And yeah, and recording should be working, and it's all there. So if you're part of TRADARS, then I welcome you to swing on by or watch the recordings. How much is TRADARS? Free. You can unlock some premium stuff, but you might want, but you don't need. You get hundreds of dollars of value for free. So sign up. What can I say? So I will pop that in here. Bada bing, bada boom. Free's pretty good. I'm telling you, you will be very surprised what you get for free. You won't believe it. Because I love you. You're my sweet baby. But I already built it. So I'd like to have a positive impact on your trading and maybe even your life. And maybe just out of loyalty and respect, you're like, dude, I get more than enough for free, but I'm going to kick down, come clean, and not be a holdout machine. Maybe you just take a premium peer just out of respect or loyalty. Free is that good. Yeah. Free is that good. You combine it, your good analysis with proper execution, you're going to get some good trades. Because you're going to make better, you're going to have better ideas. Oh, I missed it. Oh, I missed it. Look at that. Don't. I missed all three add-ons. Look at that. I missed it even by half a spread. Look, it went above it and didn't get. Look at, I missed my entries. Anyways, you got to have good trading ideas, and you have to have good execution. Yeah. So I'm in one, and I got taken out of one, I think, on Friday. And, oh my God, you're kidding me! Look at that. You son of a. So that's Rand. Euro Rand. Yeah. Well, I guess I should move that one to break even now, huh? So I missed that add-on. You son of a gun. I'll leave it there. Who knows? Maybe I'll get lucky by the end of the day. And this one is just brutal. Look at that. Like, dude, that's insane. So I have two at break even here. One there. One there. I think I was in this, but probably got knocked out here on, yeah. Shoot. So I should be in 3. I should be in 4. Got unlucky there and got unlucky there. Son of a... Well, I'll leave it. If maybe it'll pop up. I'll catch it around. So anyways, good execution, good trading ideas. You got to have them both, right? You can't have good trading ideas and poor execution. You can't have great execution on bad ideas. So TRADARS and Trader's Way, well, that makes Forex.Today. So anyways, love you, babe. I got to jump. That was real. Peace on earth. May the pips be with you. May your profits be above average. That just happened.